I'm literally the life of the party. I mean, I like chilling, I like hanging out with friends, but most of all, I'm passionate about enabling others achieve financial independence. And that's where the journey of financial awareness with Martha started. Welcome to F.A.M. When you're talking about financial freedom, or rather financial independence, the definition in itself is very relative, yeah? So what financial independence means might not be similar to what financial independence means to you. There are those who would think financial independence is going to the supermarket and not looking at the price tag, yeah? There's someone who would say, financial independence is going to the best hotel in Kenya and not looking at the right side of the menu, yeah? There are others who would say, and I think personally I've been writing on that, for me financial independence is making better financial decisions without checking my bank account. So being in a position where I could say, yes, I want to invest in that, yes, I want to afford that, yes, I want to buy that, but I don't have to go back and check my bank account to confirm, is this something I could afford? Understanding the concept of financial independence, or rather what financial independence is to you, is important, yeah? But you need to understand that you won't achieve financial independence by a blink of an eye. You won't wake up today and be financially independent. And unfortunately, the system we are in, or rather the education system we are usually taken through, does not enable us get towards financial independence. So, well, maybe you'll be brought up and you'll be told you need to work hard to be able to make more money. Yeah, so you need to make more money to be able to buy a car, to be able to buy a house. But there's certain things in life that, or rather, there's certain decisions that you will choose that would either take you towards financial independence or actually get you as far from it as possible. Yeah, and I think my greatest lesson when you're looking at this from a beginner perspective is start. Yeah, so very many of us would straight from campus, maybe in your first voluntary job, or you're waiting for the perfect job, and by the perfect job I mean whatever you studied in school, so you're waiting to be called into that industry, and unfortunately that doesn't happen. So 30% of us will be in the industries that we studied in. So straight from campus you want to start living the life. Yeah, I would encourage you to just start. I usually meet very many people who have been out of school, I think, for maybe a year or so, and simply because they couldn't get what they were looking for in the industry, they decided to wait. I think it would be a brave step to actually start even in voluntary. So look for a place where you can do voluntary work. Look for a place where you can start off with no pay. And I think that's okay, because you're putting yourself into a situation where you need to learn the value of money in such a way that you start earning small and you understand the importance of that 1,000, that you wouldn't spend it any other way if it's not for the right purpose. Yeah, because if you're targeting to start big, if you're targeting to start 100,000, then you wouldn't understand the value of 1,000. But if you start now, then it means you understand the value of each coin that goes out of your pocket. And I think by gaining the understanding, then automatically you gain the discipline towards achieving financial independence. And by discipline, I mean, saving enough, saving towards a purpose. I think investing in the right places, being keen, having a budget and sticking to the budget, and of course, living to the bare minimum. So very many of us, of course, we want to fit into a certain lifestyle, but it's not within our means. So you get to a point where you start being a bit shaky with finances. You want to make the greatest strides, but having that discipline then gets you to a point where you say, no, this is beyond my budget, this is beyond my limit for the month. I think this is the end of the road. I'm not spending anything from here. So I want to touch on 4 factors that in one or another lead you towards financial independence. One is discipline. So discipline is key, because discipline is not inborn, so it's something that you learn over and over. And having the discipline to actually say no, having the discipline to be blocked from consumerism, having the discipline to to be able to stick to a budget. I mean, let me just give you a short story time. I have been working for about, say, 4 years. Luckily, I've been working in the investment space thanks to Tsavo. We focus on financial independence and just enabling others to achieve financial independence. So I was able to be exposed to the factors, or rather the discipline to save and the discipline to actually use your money to invest. Yeah, but I think it's part of the human nature to actually split. So I remember when I was very new into the industry, I had started saving because I went into the market and my God, I mean, guys my age were now getting to different levels of life, yeah. And I remember I had saved a certain amount, and I used to live so lean, yani. How lean can lean be? I used to live to the bare minimum. Like I would spend maybe probably 5,000 a month and save the whole bunch, yeah. And it got to a point where I really needed so many things, and I thought, okay, why am I saving all this at the end of the day, and I'm still working so hard and not satisfying my needs? So I went to the supermarket and I just threw it all away. All my savings went out to that counter. I remember seeing everything that I had shopped for, and mark you, the one I just did in last November, clearly. I don't have anything that I shopped for then, yeah, but I had shopped for so much that I didn't require, but simply because I had the urge to satisfy the need of the fact that I'm trying to, applaud myself for the hard work that I'm doing. And just gaining the strength and the ability to actually be disciplined enough to understand that, yes, you're saving, and you're not saving to make yourself feel happy, but you're saving to create a sustainable future. So having discipline, enough discipline, actually understand that you need to spend this money, you need to save this amount, you need to invest in this amount. Yeah. Number 2 is saving. So of course you started working, and you might have a budget. At least, in fact, it's really like a markup book. When I start working, I think this is the first thing I need to buy. I think, when you're young, I mean, straight from campus, you want to fill your house first. Yeah. So you look at that nice sofa, and then you want to buy that nice carpet, and then the next thing you want to buy a 70-inch TV, which is okay. I mean, it satisfies the fact and the urge that people will come to your house and they feel, this guy has been working for quite some time, and you can actually see the tangible stuff that they've been able to buy. Yeah. However, when you're trying to satisfy your consumerism needs, which you cannot eliminate completely, when you're trying to satisfy your consumerism needs, then at the back of your mind, you need to have a savings plan, and not just saving X amount. So I decided I'll be saving 1,000 a month, not just saving, but having the why behind the saving. So why are you saving? Are you saving to buy a car? If you're saving to buy a car, would that take you to financial independence? Are you saving to invest? If you're saving to invest, would that investment generate for you sufficient cash flow? So having a plan, a savings plan, but as well understanding the why as to why you're saving. Yeah, because most of the time we start saving, you can get to a journey of 300,000. I remember we once did a fire session, and I met this girl. She was really young, and she had saved up to 300 G's, and she got to a point where she was like, okay, now I've saved. So now, so you can save so much money, but without a plan and without understanding why you're saving, then it just becomes a figure. It just becomes a plan that you had, but you cannot implement anything that would sustain your future. Segment number 3 I would want to talk about is consumerism. Why consumerism? I think that's the biggest thing that kills us generally in the world, not just Kenya. So every time I remember when it gets to Christmas, around December, you'll notice all shops have very big sales. I think just from November, when Black Friday comes in, you'll see Jumia is everywhere marketing for you, and very many, I think, outlets and wholesalers are usually having very big sales. Yeah, and it's because we have been molded in a society to buy. So everything you look around is buy. Yeah, it's unfortunately very hard to eliminate consumerism. So you won't stick around and say, I won't invest in this, I won't buy clothes, No. That has to happen. I mean, you have to dress the part. If you're having a job to do, you need to look nice, yeah? But you can control your level of consumerism. So how much do you need? Sometimes, yes, unasikia wacha nipe roho pole, but do you really need that? And are you able to actually say, okay, this time I have been able to spend X amount on this. I think this would be able to serve me for this period of time. If you're looking to buy things like shoes, it's okay to go to the mall and actually say, by the way, today we are taking this backyard heels and all that. But would you want to spend, even if it's consumerism, on something that would last you longer, in such a way that you're spending on things that would take you for 4 months and not a month, and you need to replace? Yeah. Number 4 thing that I want to talk about is now investment. And I think this is a segment that I would do independently as a show on its own, because I think investment has very many intakes and takeouts, and very many pros and cons, and a lot of understanding. And I think I'll just do a brief through today, but I'll be able to do different segments and different areas in which you can invest to help you have a sustainable future and get to financial independence. So when I talk about, just briefly about investing, yeah, you need, as you save, yeah, you need to start thinking of the why, and where the why comes in is now the investment that you'll do, yeah. So if you're thinking of an investment, of course you're thinking of return, yeah. However, beyond the return, there is way more understanding that you require before you invest. So what are you investing in? Is it sustainable enough? How are you accessing the money to invest? How will you eventually gain from the investment? Is it a possibility? Is it a need in the society? Is it something that people are looking for? So when you're looking for an investment, of course, there are very many things to consider. I remember when I was just finishing campus, I remember one of my greatest lecturers was telling me, oh, you know, you can think about shares, you can think about going into the bond, you know, market and industry. And I thought that was really good. But one thing he told me is, now go and understand whatever you want to buy as a share. You need to understand the market so much that you're able to predict 5 years from now, would this be sustainable? So if you're able to understand whatever you're investing in, so you're able to understand what need am I serving, is this sustainable, and is it something that would make sense even 5 years from now? I mean, you need something that would still be running even in times of crisis. And I think unfortunately having Corona within the society this season has really opened our eyes. There are very many I think there are very many how do I say it? So there are very many services that have been eliminated in the industry. Not just services but products. So and that gets you thinking, if I'm investing in this product in times of a crisis, would I be able to sustain it? Would it be a need to the society? And I think I really hope I've been able to educate you as much as you can, as much as I could. Sorry, I really hope I've been able to educate you. Thank you for viewing this. Please do share, like, subscribe, and of course, hit the comment section so that we can